Tonight is a time to sit back and enjoy hearing about the wonderful things that happen when an engaged and able student body are inspired to become our creative, courageous, and compassionate future. We are going to celebrate these able students in style as presenters highlight the excellent qualities and superb character of this evening's honorees. The traits you will hear used to describe these awardees will read like a primer on how to succeed. We have much to learn from these students, and we are so excited for the chance to share these examples of fantastic students, great athletes, accomplished artists, and dedicated community servants. The group of teachers seated before me will parade on and off the stage to give accounts of our students' accomplishments. You will see the pride these presenters have in the work that we honor tonight. They will read their descriptions glowingly, because that is where the gratification lies for these teachers. What they won't do is talk about the hard work that they do to ensure that anything is possible for our students. They won't tout their knowledge, their passion, or their desire to share. However, the significant student achievements that we celebrate tonight do not occur without the firm guidance and intellectual stewardship that they offer. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the upper school faculty for these traits. Thank you. I would also like to take a moment to recognize two people, Jamie Lau and Kelly Flugel. They are jointly responsible for helping to plan this wonderful event, having spent hours to ensure that our students are being honored and celebrated accordingly. Thank you for all of your efforts. I am always aware that upper school parents are asked to walk a particularly thin line, to advocate without pushing too much, to support without nagging, and to hand over more of the reins of their child's life to them so that they are prepared to prosper as they depart to college. The parents, and especially the Parent Association here at Elgin Academy, is so helpful to the partnership we foster in support of these students. I would like to take this opportunity to thank both of our EAPA upper school representatives, Aisha Sami and Jen Bellini, for all that they do in our upper school. I hope that they will come forward. Ultimately, tonight is about our students, so I would like to turn our focus to them. As I said earlier, listen closely to the carefully honed descriptions of these extraordinary intellectuals, athletes, community servants, and friends. These words demonstrate the important values that are so crucial here at Elgin Academy, and which these impressive students have demonstrated in full force. In a measurement of these important qualities, I would be happy to put our students up against any school who is having similar celebrations at this time of year. Tonight is a night to honor upper school students as a whole, but we must acknowledge that the leaders of this group are the 24 individuals in the senior class. This year we've been led especially well. The class of 2019, in just over 17 hours from now, will be graduates. For a while now, however, and for a period of time tomorrow morning, we will celebrate the leadership that you all have set for us. You have made us very proud in everything you have done, from your academic achievements, your athletic endeavors, fields and classrooms and stations and libraries here and abroad. You are leaving us tomorrow to go on to places of higher learning, and we know that you will make us proud, and we trust that you will challenge those other places to make them better, as you have done for us here. While there are many examples of the accomplishments of these students, one of the most visible manifestations of this is the dedicated way that you all approach the college and scholarship process. So I would like to invite Dan Raffety to the stage to share some thoughts as our college counselor. As he makes his way up here, I ask you to acknowledge with me the fine work he has done this year in guiding our seniors toward their goals.
The class of 2019 was a pleasure to work with on our college applications, most of the time. An ambitious and hardworking group, they submitted 175 applications for a 57% admission rate. They were collectively offered $1.6 billion in merit scholarships. They will be attending schools from California to Iowa, from Colorado to Wisconsin, from North Carolina to Michigan, and quite a few more who are staying much closer to home. Speaking of which, we have 7 who will be attending the University of Illinois, which must be some kind of Elgin Academy record. We look forward to hearing about their many wonderful accomplishments to come. I invite the class of 2019 to come up to the stage. You guys can line yourselves up, however works for you, and announce to the crowd your name and the college that you will be attending next year. Why don't we start on the right? Alan, you can start.
I'm Colin. I'm going to U of I.
Roger. Okay, I'm Roger. I'm going to California College of the Arts.
I'm Christina. I'm going to UI.
I'm Harry. I'm going to U of I.
I'm Robert. I'm Jack. I'm going to U of I. I'm Connor. I'm going to Carthage College.
I'm Ethan. I'm going to DePaul.
I'm Candace. I'm going to University of California, San Diego.
I'm Madigan, and I'm going to University of California, Santa Barbara.
I'm Mayha, and I'm going to Duke University.
I'm Maddie, and I'm going to U of I. I'm Leanne, and I'm going to U of I.
I'm Renee, and I'm going to University of Colorado Boulder. Yeah.
I'm Katie, and I'm going to St. Mary's in Indiana. I'm Muskan, and I'm also going to U of I.
I'm Julianne, and I'm going to Hope College.
I'm Harley, I'm going to St. Mary's in California.
I'm Noah. I'm going to DePaul.
I'm Colin, I'm going to Cornell College. I'm Murtaza, I'm going to UCC.
Derek Warren, Elgin Community College.
I'm Lauren, and I'm going to Chapman University.
Can we please have a hearty congratulations?
Good evening. It is an honor to be here among this group of distinguished young scholars and to be able to present the Excellence in English Award. When choosing recipients for the Excellence in English Award, the English Department considers student interest and aptitude in the study of literature, proficiency in written and oral expression, and mature critical thinking as demonstrated in literary studies. This year was particularly difficult to choose just one person. This class has several gifted writers and scholarly readers. As a consequence, the English department has decided to give 2 awards this year, although no one should be afraid that I'm going to speak for twice as long. On behalf of Dr. Herring and myself, I'm proud to present this year's Excellence in English Awards to Lauren Yost and Wisconsin. I mentioned Lauren first in part because she has probably rarely been listed first due to the cruelties of alphabetical order. But also because of the way that her excellence as an English student has more to do with appreciating the creativity and passion of literature. As someone who has tried her hand in creative writing her senior year as part of a Hilltop, she found just how difficult that could be. The desire to explore this possibility is rooted in her love of literature for its own sake, which I first saw with her affection for Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye and its likable, and yet unlikable, protagonist. Lauren embodied excellence in English as an open and interested reader, changed by the literature she read. The study of literature does not only make us well-rounded, it changes hearts and it changes lives. And Lauren's time in the upper school exemplifies that. The future, Lauren wrote in her senior assessment, always surprises us, just as literature does. I mentioned Muskan second, not because there is any hierarchy, but because she embodies excellence in English more from the perspective of a scholar of the humanities and social sciences. For Muskan, literature is just one element within the wider scope of the humanities. Muskan was moved not just by literature's human elements, but also by literary work and analysis that tells us something about the world. Whether it was discussing Candide or The Stranger, Muskan always sought to better understand how these works were themselves statements about how the author thought the world was or should be, and by extension, how we should be. Literature tells us about the world, but it eventually comes back to us. As Muskan wrote in her senior assessment, writing truly is the best medicine in the world. Congratulations, Lauren and Muskan. We will miss you, and good luck in the years to come.
excellence in U.S. history. I can't tell you how many times I've repeated this phrase all year. Could someone other than Carter Ray please answer this question? Carter has been an incredible member of my U.S. history class. He obviously has a deep love for all things related to history and politics, possesses an incredible head for facts, and enjoys sharing that knowledge with the class. In fact, for the final class of the year, as in today, he completely dominated a trivia review game earlier this morning to the point that other students were saying it wasn't fair, to which I say to that. He's been known to correct me on a few mistakes that I have made, but I won't hold it against him too much. His performance on tests and quizzes has been exceptional, and I'm sure that he will continue as an incredible history student as a senior next year and in the years to come. It is my absolute pleasure to present this award to Carter Ray. Excellence in Social Studies. Muskan Siddiqui. Muskan is without question one of the most passionate history students that I have ever worked with, and I taught her as both a 9th grader in World Cultures 1 and as a junior in AP US History. She truly understands the value of history and social studies in general, and that they teach you how to understand people. That is one of the most important skills a person can have in this world. She lives her passion. This is perhaps most evident. She guest taught my A-Push class this year and provided a plethora of review materials for the juniors. In fact, she did the same thing last year for Ms. Baer's AP European History class. Furthermore, she continued her love for history with her Hilltop Independent Study, where she explored the relationship between environment and religion in ancient Mesopotamia and India. The presentation on this project is fabulous, and she even made some wonderful food with recipes from these regions. Ms. Keatsman said of her work this year, nothing escaped Muskan in AP Psychology. She devoured the content and applied what she learned to the world around her. She understood the immediate connection between psychology and history. Muskan's ability to combine historical analysis with psychological analysis will serve her well regardless of her future career, be it lawyer, historian, politician, psychologist, or cable news pundit, or all of those, or any mix of all of those. It is my absolute pleasure to present this award to Muskan Siddiqui.
Each year, the Elgin Academy of Social Studies and English Department chooses one junior to receive the Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony Award, which is sponsored by the University of Rochester. In the city of Rochester, Douglass published his newspaper, the North Star, hosted runaway slaves in his home, gave speeches, and supported women's suffrage alongside his friend Susan B. Anthony. Also in Rochester, Anthony worked tirelessly for married women's property rights, women's suffrage, the abolition of slavery, and the education of women and blacks. In honor of these two American authors and activists, the University of Rochester sponsors this award for a student who has strong grades in rigorous courses, taken in the humanities and social sciences, has shown leadership and dedication to community action, and has demonstrated a commitment to understanding and addressing difficult social issues. This year's recipient has distinguished herself not only as a high-achieving student, but also as someone who engages with ideas at a high level. An enthusiastic student of literature and history, her written work is mature and sophisticated, and her ability to look into a text and see its subtext and implications is excellent. Like Douglass and Anthony, this year's recipient demonstrates a commitment to the importance of conversation and community. She does this through her participation in class discussions. Not only does she voice her ideas, but she also listens in a humble and engaged manner. And like Anthony and Douglass, she engages with both national and international issues, which she does as one of the leaders of this year's Model United Nations. Join me in congratulating this year's recipient, Caitlin Clayton.
Latin student who has shown dedication, distinction, consistency, and passion for the classics in their Latin career at EA. It is always difficult to select just one Latin student for this honor, but the recipient of this year's award chose to continue her studies in Latin 5 even after completing a strenuous year in AP Latin. She made the ancient texts of Caesar and Virgil come alive through her artwork, including a hand-embroidered Julius Caesar piece, which took first place at ILJCL State Convention. She helped to revive Latin Club with the help of her year mates and organized fundraising opportunities for us. She competed in Curtamen and attended ILJCL State Convention year after year. She doesn't shy away from the nitty-gritty of grammar and literary analysis, but also clearly enjoys the stories of everyday humanity of the Romans. You always know she's about to share some insightful comment about Latin poetry or a wry joke about Roman dining habits when you hear her say, "Wait." And she has even occasionally called me Magistra, which didn't determine this, but helped, yeah. This student recently handed me a sheaf of yellowed notes written by Magistra Genevieve Rial, a Latin teacher in the 1920s and 30s. Magistra Rial was the student's great-grandmother, and I realized that I shouldn't have been surprised that the student has a passion for Latin. It's in her blood. Magistra Rial wrote that we must make it worthwhile for a people to have started learning Latin, no matter when she stops. And, fittingly, I think this pupil has made her Latin studies more than worthwhile, though I hope she hasn't stopped quite yet. In consideration of these qualities and abilities, this year's award for excellence in Latin goes to Leanne Rao.
The student to whom I will be giving the award for excellence in French is one whom I taught in 5th grade. She was a very good French student then, and I have been honored to teach her for an additional 4 years in high school. It has been a delight to see her develop and to now witness her reading, writing, and speaking executed with a flair. Madigan Bogorsi has won many awards in French. Due to her high grades, she has been a member of the National French Honor Society since freshman year. In addition, every year she has won a medal for her results on the National French Contest. Most importantly for me is that Madigan has been my valued right-hand mademoiselle. We sit in pods of 3 in class, and she serves as an excellent model and teacher. A French 4 student recently told me that her turning point in improving her own confidence in speaking the language was due to listening to Madigan's various conversations with others. Madigan doesn't make many mistakes in her written or spoken French, so she's been a great influence on many. It doesn't matter what topic we're doing, Madigan will become immediately interested, involved, searching for more information, whether it be circuses in France or world immigration. Her oral presentations of her projects are a delight. I understand that this summer the family will be going to France. I'm sure that Madigan will be a good guide and translator. She is not timid, and I'm sure that she will take advantage of the many opportunities to use her second language. Thank you, Madigan, wherever you are, for being such an interested and helpful student. I would now like to present you with the Excellent in French Award.
Excellence in World Languages is an award that is given only occasionally when there is a student who achieves proficiency in more than just 2 languages. This year, the Excellence in World Languages Award is being presented to Holland Liu. The jump from Mandarin to English proficiency is not an easy one, but Hao-Lin has seemed to make that jump and started running. In class, he was always drilling down into the themes and deeper conflicts and implications of the literature we examine. During his senior year in particular, he's become more aware of the generative possibilities of storytelling and narrative. Proficiency and fluency in a second language is difficult, but producing literature in that language is even more challenging. This puts Hao-Lin in a special class of language learner and users that invoke such names as Conrad and Markov and Chicago's own Alexander Hammond. Not only has he been interested in English as a medium for meaning making and literary exploration, but has also explored Japanese as well, so as to be able to explore cinema and literature in the original language from that nation.
I have been equally impressed with Hao-Lin's eagerness to learn. In the 3 years Hao-Lin has studied Spanish, he is placed in the National Spanish Exam every year and has received nothing lower than an A+ in his classes. Hao-Lin's appetite for language is astounding, and his fellow classmates seek him out for help. Nelson Mandela believed if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to a man in his own language, that goes to his heart. I have every confidence Hao-Lin's skill in English and Spanish will allow him to reach the hearts of many. Hao-Lin, please accept the excellence in language.
The Excellence in Theater Award is given to a senior who has demonstrated continued dedication to theater throughout their time at Elgin Academy. The class of 2019 is full of superlative students, as you are seeing tonight, so I decided this year to give this award to not one, but 2 deserving recipients. Both of these remarkable young women have committed significant amounts of time to pursuing their passion for theater over the last 4 years. They have performed on stage in challenging, complex roles, both serious and comedic, in such varied plays as Arsenic and Old Lace, A Midsummer Night's Dream, All My Sons, and Raging Girls. They have designed and built scenery, created and organized props, dug for costumes in the basement of the Sears Gallery, and this year both were elected by their peers to serve as Thespian Society officers. They have also excelled in the classroom, taking every level of theater coursework that EA offers. As I was writing this speech, my conspiracy theory wheels suddenly began turning. Though these 2 have done many shows at EA, they have actually rarely appeared in the same scenes at the same time. This got me thinking, are they really 2 people at all? Both are studious and curious intellectuals with varied academic interests. Both are leaders in the classroom and the school. Both are passionate about cultural issues and social justice. Both are talented and expressive performers. And they have suspiciously similar names. My inner Lois Lane kicked into gear as I started to think, is this a Clark Kent Superman situation? Batman Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker Spider-Man, Madigan Muskan. Well, of course, it's a little ridiculous. Muskan Siddiqui and Madigan Pavorsi have both contributed significantly to the EA theater program, but in their own unique ways. Madigan has not only been a talented performer, but also took a huge risk in her junior year by directing and fight choreographing a full production of She Kills Monsters. Muskan has also been a talented performer, and in addition to that, has been the stage manager for multiple productions, keeping the backstage areas organized and keeping the shows running smoothly. When you hear the list of their incredible theatrical accomplishments, it's easy to know that they are, in fact, theater superheroes, no mask or alter ego needed. It is my honor to give this year's Excellence in Theater Award to Madigan Pavorsi and Muskan Siddiqui. Rocks Award for Innovation and Information Technology to a student who has demonstrated a great level of talent and commitment to videography. While technological advancements in the 20th century catapulted videography into existence, filmmaking has a rich history. In order to be successful in your craft, you must understand the context in which you are creating. Before innovation comes information. When I learned about this award and its requirements, I knew immediately who deserved it. It was a student taking copious notes during lectures on composition and film history. It's the person who used 4 storyboard boxes per line of script because they understood how motivated shot sizes and camera movements could influence the effect of the action in the scene. It was the student who stayed after class to edit his projects, who stayed late to clean up after filming at the Boys and Girls Club after school, who was always ready to drop his Mushu costume pause to film extremely high-quality manual mode videos. This person exemplifies an EA student through his curiosity and passion for learning, his reliability and leadership as a film crew member, and through his commitment to growth and academic excellence. I am excited to see what he creates in the future. Please join me in congratulating Christopher Perez.
Tonight I'm here to present the Jane Pelton Excellence Award to 2 highly deserving individuals. This award exemplifies the ideals of creative inquiry, tenacity in pursuing the process of artistic expression, and pure unadulterated passion for the lifestyle that is visualized. I have already settled it for myself, so flattery and criticism go down the same drain, and I am quite free. When I reflected on the immense talent of my first nominee, I was reminded of this quote by Georgia O'Keeffe. In my first days at Elgin Academy, I remember going through the art drawers and taking stock of what pieces had been left behind by previous students. When I opened a particular drawer, I gasped when I laid eyes on a drawing that had perfect renderings and proportions of typically difficult subject matter. The attention to detail and craftsmanship of each work were breathtaking. When I met the student who was responsible for these works, she seemed to not be as impressed with her work as I was. She treated those drawings and subsequent work all as explorations of topics and interests. None were precious, and all had a purpose in the greater scheme of her growth as an artist, the way a piece of a puzzle completes a whole. I realized very quickly that my accolades for her work were not going to drive her. She had a clear and steady vision, though it may have seemed circuitous to an outsider, as to the direction of her work and the correct path to get there. Christina, you are self-assured in your craft, and even though I have only walked alongside you in this journey for senior year, it was always you who knew the direction of your ship. Congratulations. In thinking about my second nominee for the Jane Pelton Excellence in Art Award, I reflected on a few commonly held beliefs of what makes a successful artist. Art is the core of their lives. They possess a strong work ethic, and they are resilient. The nominee that I'm presenting tonight strongly embodies all 3 of these tenets. Since day 1 of the school year, this young woman has spent countless hours outside of regular classes discussing artistic aspirations, developing plans on how to attack a project, and compiling information to create compelling work. While she has been very successful in creating a beautiful and cohesive body of work, there have been many times that she has been disheartened by the outcome of experimentation with a particular medium, frustrated by the difficulty in portraying her subject in a realistic way, and been bogged down by life itself. Never once did I see my nominee stop making art. Instead, she researched, she practiced. She gave herself time to reflect and came back with fresh eyes. She never gave up. Candace, you have a gentle yet unflinching spirit. Your tenacity and strong will serve you well on whatever road you choose. When I reflect on this quote by Lao Tzu, I will always think of you. Water is fluid, soft and yielding, but water will wear away rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. What is soft is strong. Congratulations.
Schleemacher Mathematics Award is given to the senior who has best demonstrated an enjoyment, enthusiasm, and attitude of working for improved understanding of math during his or her Elgin Academy upper school career. This year, the math department faculty has selected Katie Peak as the recipient of this award. Katie has worked diligently all 4 years in her math classes. She is the type of student who is bound and determined to learn the concepts. Writing proofs is a developmental milestone for students, and Katie took on that challenge as she has taken on all of her math challenges by asking questions and asking more questions. Katie does not stop there. She works independently on problems, takes notes, and then asks more questions. In this way, Katie is a role model for other students. The most challenging time to be a role model is at the end of the 4th quarter of senior year. Katie continued to immerse herself in the exponential logarithmic problems, even though she knew she would not be tested on the material. In fact, Katie promised Ms. Keesman she would send her a copy of her final test in college to show that she did learn the material. Please join the math department in congratulating Katie Peak on her
The transition from pre-calculus mathematics that includes algebra and geometry to calculus-based mathematics involves moving from a static environment with objects at rest or exhibiting constant rates of change to a dynamic environment in which quantities change and that change can be measured instantaneously. It is as if mathematics moves from being still photos to moving pictures. I like to think of the Excellence in Mathematics Award in a similar manner. This award does not indicate that only one student has been consistently mathematically excellent over all others for the entirety of their experiences. Instead, there is a fluidity to excellence that causes it to fluctuate so that at any given moment, a single student, a small group, or a whole class can achieve its state. Given this philosophy, at any given snapshot of time during the past 4 years, any of our seniors would have been capable of earning the Excellence in Mathematics Award for the multitude of occurrences when they made a discovery, proposed a solution, or felt pride in their mathematical achievements. In order to present a single Excellence in Mathematics Award that reflects a full upper school career, it is necessary to look at those accumulation of instances of excellence and integrate them into an overall body of work that is worthy of singular recognition. They got the calculus one. For this year, I am pleased to present on behalf of the Mathematics Department the Excellence in Mathematics Award to Howlin Liu. Howlin has been at the forefront of our mathematics curriculum each year, culminating with him taking advanced math topics, or Calculus 2, this year. I have personally had the pleasure of teaching him for 2 of those years. While his grades have been immaculate, it is also fair to say that he has made plenty of errors along the way. To be fair, he has likely caught more of my mistakes than I have noticed of his. Thankfully, he recognizes that taking risks and making errors is vital to being a successful mathematician. He has never been reticent to propose a new method, to venture a hypothesized solution, or to express joy at struggling with difficult concepts. He is a leader in the classroom, not always the most vocal student, but certainly one who his classmates look to as we all wrestle with intriguing problems. Howlin is proud of the fact that he enjoys learning languages and may include the study of linguistics among his collegiate pursuits. I hope that when he shares with others the languages through which he is able to communicate, Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Japanese, that he is sure to add the language of mathematics to that list. Congratulations on earning the Excellence in Mathematics Award, Howlin.
The Science Department is proud to present the Bausch and Lomb Award this year to an outstanding junior science student. I'm filling in for Mrs. Lau this evening, who could not be here, so the words I'm speaking are hers. And she made me promise I was going to give some hand gestures later, chemical hand gestures. AP Chem kids are going to have fun. So this award is sponsored by the University of Rochester, and it gives students who are admitted to the university an automatic consideration for a scholarship, which totals $30,000 over 4 years. I first got to know the student as a freshman. In biology, the student was inquisitive, talented, but still possibly a bit reserved. As a sophomore in Honors Chem, however, the student found their voice and became not only more comfortable in the science classroom, but in all of their classes. The student became energized by class activities and lab work. It was rare the student ever sat back quietly in class. And being down the hall from AP Chem and AP Bio, I did hear that. This was particularly true in 8th period AP Chem. In a wonderful group of students, this student often helped drive the energy of the room. He would be excited, energetic, but focused on science. He asked great questions. He has a natural ability to problem solve even the most complicated equilibrium problems. He became known for his ability to work out theoretical problems by using his hands to move imaginary compounds and variables somewhere about the room in chemicals bonding or joining, something like that. And the other students were worried that would rub off on them, so I don't know if that happened or not, but it was pretty dramatic apparently. The energy he brings to the room is contagious, and passion for science radiates him out of the classroom. His natural inclination to help all others in all levels of chemistry has been a wonderful addition to the chemistry room for these past 2 years. It's my pleasure to award the 2019 Bausch and Lomb Award to Mr. Jaden Tabak.
Excellence in science. What is excellence in science? While not required, it often goes to someone who has pursued extra years of science, as in AP courses, which show a strong interest in the subject. Another key aspect is working well with others to seek out knowledge. But the bottom line, the basis of this award is a love of learning, to focus on learning and do one's best to learn well. And if one takes this approach in science, it is only natural to apply it in all that one does. So it makes sense if you hear this young man's name more than once this weekend. I had the real pleasure of teaching this young man in my class this year. A student who always worked hard and asked the very deep questions, pushing the class forward and keeping me on my toes. Much as he did last year in Mrs. Lau's AP Chem class, and this year also in Mr. Matthews' AP Bio class. In fact, to Mr. Matthew, this young man is a humble leader in the classroom who takes charge to help guide others in their learning with his patient manner and his sharp mind. And if I may add to that thought, in all the years I've taught here at the school, I've seen just a few who are as strong in science as this young man. But I have never seen one who has had such a positive impact on others in the classroom. The Excellence in Science Award goes to Howland Newton.
Will I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. Non-English teachers, who said that? Seniors especially. Walt Whitman. Now, you're probably wondering what connection that has to my speech. None. But Walt Whitman is one of my favorite poets, and I discovered this afternoon that today is his 200th birthday. So happy birthday, Walt. Well, now to the business at hand. You know, actually, I spent, 45 minutes trying to figure out how to work that into the speech. I just couldn't do it. Okay, I've said many times that winning an excellence in whatever award isn't just about getting A's on the test, although most of the students who win them do get A's on the test. These awards are really for students who go beyond the tests, who have a real passion for the subject, a passion that extends beyond the classroom and even beyond the school. Neha Karna is that kind of person. She took my intro class her sophomore year and the advanced one last year, and of course did very well in both, as well as on the AP Comp Sci exam last spring. But that's not why I'm giving her this award. It's the other things that she did that are the most important. Things like serving for 2 years on the school's technology committee, like doing a Hilltop, an independent study, about machine learning, artificial intelligence, and behavioral economics. Things like figuring out the material for herself. I can assure you she didn't learn any of it from me. Things like designing and teaching completely on her own initiative an introductory comp sci class for middle school students at local libraries and boys and girls schools. Each year, the National Center for Women in Information Technology, NCWIT, recognizes young women, quote, for their demonstrated interest and achievements in computing, proven leadership ability, academic performance, and plans for post-secondary education. Neha received a certificate of distinction last year and was a national honorable mention for their Aspirations in Computing Award this year. One of only 400 selected from over 4,300 applications from all 50 states. So, for her accomplishments thus far, and for her plans and goals for the future, I'm delighted to present this year's Excellence in Computer Science Award to Neha.
Before 3 p.m. And then at 3 p.m., all of these student athletes have to deal with a coach like myself asking them to now run, sprint, practice hard, get on a bus to go to Chicago and play against schools that have thousands of kids. And it seems like all 1,000 of those kids are playing against us, and they do. And in spite of all that you guys do this night, I always love it when it reminds me that all of you do. So before I acknowledge a few of our athletes, I just want to take a few seconds to clap for all of our student athletes who contribute to EA. Present 3 Ironman awards and a male athlete of the year and a female athlete of the year. For our Ironman award, the recipient of the Ironman award are the student athletes that are playing sports for the love of sports. They do not view sports as a nuisance to tolerate in the middle of their day. They are not interested in earning PE credits, statistics, or individual accolades. These students simply need to compete. They see sports and school as hand in hand. And perhaps most importantly, these students, athletes, understand the importance of sacrificing for the greater EA good. At a private school where every roster is in need of as many capable athletes as possible, these student athletes give of their time and energy for all 3 seasons per year for all 4 years of their high school career. So I'm very honored to introduce in alphabetical order, starting with Mr. Dan Raffety. Basketball, and 4 years of varsity tennis. Thank you, Jack. 4 years of golf, 4 years of girls basketball, and 4 years of soccer. Thank you. Please, our ADCO president, Ms. Renee Seneca. Varsity field hockey, 4 years of varsity basketball, and 4 years of soccer and track. The recipients of the Athlete of the Year embody the 4 cornerstones of Elgin Academy athletics. Those are sportsmanship, development, teamwork, and productivity. To win this award, one must be hardworking, dependable, coachable, and committed to excellence on and off the field of play. Although individual or team accolades certainly do not hurt, the athletic department focuses on honoring the process by which awards are achieved more so than the accomplishments themselves. This year's winners stood out amidst a host of viable candidates. This has been one of, if not the most successful year in EA athletics recent history, and that is in large part due to the efforts and the commitment of so many student athletes here today. As they move on to the next chapter of their academic story, EA Athletics would like to take a moment to thank all of the student athletes here who have contributed to the success of our sports teams. And although we only have one male athlete of the year and one female athlete of the year, there have been several athletes who have left a lasting legacy behind and are deserving of an honorable mention here tonight. So the aforementioned Jack Peak and Katie Peak, your commitment to 12 seasons of sports cannot be left understated. We appreciate your sacrifice, and you will be missed. Your balance of athletics and the arts and academics is literally my EA utopia, and we are going to miss your passion and prowess in the field. Your loyalty and commitment to team has had a major impact on our field hockey and basketball programs, and you will be missed, and I'm still mad that I missed that national anthem. We can't thank you enough for your dedication to your craft. Your sweet swing in golf improved every year, and you are the only athlete in the class to say that you have participated in a state tournament, and you did it twice. Thompson, you are my point guard. You're going to miss your ball handling and your cool, calm demeanor on the court. I promise. Derek Warren, you gave maximum effort to everything you did. Golf, basketball, and baseball were all impacted in a positive way by your no-excuse approach to hard work and commitment to team, and I'm looking forward to working with Coach Derek. And lastly, Mertaza Shaw, your energy is infectious. When you are in a room, the entire mood of that room changes, and you have absolutely maximized every ounce of talent in your body, and I will be referencing your name to motivate others for years to come. Amidst all of those viable candidates, 2 candidates stood out as our male and female athlete of the year. So we want to start with our female athlete of the year. Please welcome to the stage Renee Seneca. Renee is a 12-time sports participant, seasoned participant. She's a 10-time varsity letter recipient. She's a varsity basketball MVP. She's a varsity coaches soccer award recipient, a varsity field hockey and track coaches award recipient. So she is as the most competitive person that I ever met. She is feisty. I want to wish you best of luck on your journey to enlightenment, and I want to say heaven help the poor soul that tries to stop you. Please welcome to the stage, Colin Thompson. Colin is a 5-time sports season participant and only 2 years here at EA. He's a 4-time varsity letter recipient. He's a 2-time varsity basketball player, defensive player of the year. He's a 4-time ISL all-conference team member. He's a 2-time varsity baseball coaches award recipient. Colin is also signed and committed to play baseball at Cornell College, which is a major deal here for Elgin Academy. We're proud of that. And the story I want to tell really quick about Colin is one day I was coming in, walking across the quad, and heard someone calling my name, Coach Ray, Coach Ray, Coach Ray. I look across, coming out of Edwards Hall is Colin, and he's got his hands up in victorious Muhammad Ali style, and he's screaming that he got a B in a particular class, that he was having a hard time getting a B. And for me, all the athletic things that you've done, that vision is going to stand out to me the most. It shows that Elgin Academy impacted you as much as you impacted it. And then I think you would probably say that amongst all of that, your best accomplishment is beating me one-on-one. It was 3-2. I was not fully rested in Canada. It's my pleasure to introduce to the stage a member of the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame and a particular role model of mine, Mr. Jim Harrington.
Thank you very much. It's quite an honor to be here tonight. My name is Jim Harrington. I'm the Vice President of the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame Foundation in Elgin. First of all, I want to congratulate all the graduates and wish you all the best in all of your future endeavors. We have a lot of great things to look forward to, and I wish you the very best. One of the main missions of our organization is to give scholarships out to student athletes. In 1980, we started with one scholarship of $500 to a student athlete. Over the past 39 years, our organization has now awarded over $550,000 in scholarships to student athletes in this community. Due to the generosity of our members and donors, we are awarding 30 scholarships of $1,700 each to high school seniors who go to a school in Elgin or live in Elgin or attend a school outside the city. That is a total of $51,000. Tonight, it's my privilege to be here to offer one of your graduating seniors one of these scholarships. Your name and picture will be added to our display down at the Rec Center in downtown Elgin. You will be up there with your picture, and you will be engraved on a plaque for the rest of your life. The recipient played soccer and basketball. You heard all about him, baseball, all conference and several sports. He was just up here a minute ago going to Cornell College. It's my privilege to give this scholarship this year to Colin. Thank you for your attention and good luck.
The President's Education Awards Program has been in existence for many years and recognizes students in their senior year. This award is given in schools all across the country, and the recipients share similar academic traits with their peers around the United States. Each year, the President sponsors 2 awards, one for academic excellence and one for academic achievement. The awards come with certificates as well as a letter from the President. The Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence follows strict guidelines that include a grade point average over 3.5 and high standardized test scores. The number of students who received this award this year is a testament to the strength of this class. I'm going to ask this year's 9 recipients to come up to receive their awards and ask that you please hold your applause until the end. As I call your name, please come up. Ms. Moe will hand you your certificate, and we'll have you all stand up here for a moment. Madigan Baborsi, Yume Candice Feng, Neha Karna, Howlin Leo, Catherine Peak, Leanne Rao, Muskan Siddiqui, Halron Henry Wow, and Lauren Yost. Let's salute these award winners with a round of applause. may be seated. The Presidential Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement recognizes students beyond the previous award who show outstanding educational growth, improvement, commitment, and intellectual development throughout their range of studies. This can also be awarded for a particular area of interest and excellence. The following 2 students were selected by our upper school faculty for this honor. For each honoree, I will share a few words from the faculty regarding their selection. At this time, I ask Christina Bellagratis and Adam Cerny to join me on stage. A few words about Christina. Christina's teachers attest to her work through comments such as, she participates enthusiastically and prepares for assessments conscientiously. Another teacher notes that Christina asks very good questions that create an opportunity for everyone in the room to make connections between the concepts and everyday life. Additionally, Christina is a talented artist whose eye and sensibility for drawing is just astounding, according to Miss Van Horn. We have enjoyed working with Christina for the past several years and wish her best at the University of Illinois. And even though Adam is not here this evening, I hope you indulge me as I read some words about him. And general friendliness have made our school a better place. As his advisor noticed, Adam puts forth effort, is kind and generous, learns from his mistakes, and is undaunted by challenges. We are thankful that his unique high school path led him to Elgin Academy, and we look forward to hearing about his experiences at the University of Colorado Boulder. As some of you know, each year our older students take a battery of standardized tests which help them measure their achievement against that of their peers around the country and around the world. These tests still provide validation of both a student's aptitude and the curriculum in which they study. One such set of tests is the Advanced Placement Program at the College Board. The College Board recognizes students who have the distinction of earning a score of 3 or better out of 5 on 3 or more AP examinations. Seniors are eligible for this distinction based on the scores of tests taken during their sophomore and junior years. This year we are honored that 10 of our students earned this recognition. While I don't have any physical awards to hand out, I am going to ask that our recipients stand and we will applaud after each award is talked about. We have 5 students. Got to count real quickly. We have 5 students who were saluted as AP scholars for receiving grades of 3 or higher on 3 or more exams. These 5 students are Tiani Roger Chu, Catherine Peak, Leanne Rao, Howard Henry Wong, and Maddie Williams Larson. We have 3 students who were named AP Scholars with Honor for an average score of at least 3.25 on all of the AP exams they took, and that includes scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more exams. These 3 students are Yume Candace Faye, Holland Diop, and Jack Peak. Finally, congratulations to 2 of our seniors for earning recognition as AP Scholars with Distinction, for earning an average score of 3.5 on all the exams they took, that includes scores of 3 or more higher on 5 or more exams. And again, keep in mind, they took all of these exams prior to their senior year. And these 2 students are Madigan Laborsi and Neha Karni. Since the round of exams for senior year were just taken less than a month ago, and scores won't be known until July, Please note that these seniors, as well as their peers in younger grades, could receive further recognition from the Advanced Placement Program once those tests are assessed. Congratulations. The Illinois Student Assistance Commission recognizes students for outstanding achievement on college entrance standardized tests. These students rank in the top 10% of the approximately 140,000 high school graduating seniors in Illinois each year. Again, this award is determined by GPA and high test scores that are earned by the completion of their junior year. This year, 5 members of our senior class were recognized. I ask them to come forward and receive their certificates now and ask that you hold your applause. Our 2019 Illinois State Scholars are Christina Malagratis, Madigan Baborsi, Nehal Karna, Ethan Martin, and Leanne Rao. Each year, the Daily Herald recognizes local area students for their outstanding contributions to surrounding communities. Community service is a huge part of what we do here at Elgin Academy, emphasizing that service to others is expected of those who have the intellectual tools to solve problems. So it is appropriate that we note the recipients of this award. These students are applauded for their leadership they have assumed, especially as demonstrated by their community mindfulness. Nominees go through a rigorous application process, and their submissions are weighed against other community-minded students from the region. We are pleased to announce that 2 of our students, Nehal Karna and Derek Warren, earned honorable mention status on this year's Daily Herald leadership team. Both of these students provided tremendous service at Elgin Academy and within many communities, local and abroad, and both have exhibited extraordinary leadership in doing so. They are the prototype of dedicated leaders. We are so proud of them. Would both of you please stand to be recognized for this accomplishment? Each year, the Daily Herald also recognizes local area students for their outstanding academic accomplishments. These students are saluted for the academic rigor of their curriculum, their success on standardized tests, and their intellectual curiosity. The overall goal of this award is to recognize the best students in the suburbs for their outstanding accomplishments in the classroom. Nominees again go through a rigorous application process, which includes an essay, and their submissions are weighed against other similarly outstanding students in the region. While many student bodies would be lucky to have one recipient, we are privileged to have 2. We are pleased to announce that 2 of our students, Madigan Baborsi and Nehal Karna, earned honorable mention status on this year's Daily Herald All-Academic Team. I would ask that these 2 students stand to be recognized. They both stand for intellectual independence and academic accomplishment that are the hallmark of true scholars, and we know that they're going to enrich their classes at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and Duke University, as they have done here.
Worldwide Youth in Science and Engineering is a program formerly sponsored by University of Illinois, now sponsored by Eastern Illinois University, that recognizes student achievement in sciences and in engineering. Our team this year had another great season of competition, and as is tradition, we recognize the team at this Honors Convocation. In addition to winning our 41st regional championship and our 6th consecutive sectional championship, the team finished in 3rd place at state championship tournament. The following individuals won individual awards at the state championship, and I asked them to rise to be recognized as I call their name. In biology, 4th place in the state, Madigan Baborsi. Madigan was also the team captain Hampton, as well as recognized with the Fletcher O'Neill Keatsman Award for the top senior on the team. In chemistry, second place, Ken Spang. In computer science, we won 4 individual awards. Second place in the state, Anna Karna. And all 3 tied for third place in the state are Howland Liu, Ethan Moore, and Joseph Hargrave. Finally, we had 2 awards in mathematics. Second place in the state, Anna Karna. And third place, Howland Liu. Congratulations again, and thank you for all you've done this year to achieve another amazing.
Quillen Scroll is an international honor society for high school journalism. Members must currently be sophomores, juniors, or seniors. Tonight, we induct 7 new members into the Quillen Scroll Society, and we honor 3 other students with editor awards. As I call your name, please come to the stage to receive your awards. The new members honored for their work on the yearbook are Candace Fang and Claire Nolan. This was an excellent year for our school newspaper, the Cupola, mainly thanks to the strong leadership of its editors-in-chief, Muskan Siddiqui, Kaylin Leahy, and Noah Townsend. I also need to point out that Kaylin Leahy is also being recognized for her work with the literary magazine. I would like to give them special recognition for their dedication, work ethic, leadership, and of course, writing and editing skills. Please give them a round of applause as they come to the stage. The newspaper also needs a strong team of exceptional writers. I would also like to recognize the following students for their excellent contributions to the Cupola throughout this year. Vansh Aritas, Zoe Jacobson, Danielle Levine, Khalid Ralph, and Nira Subaji.
The winner of the Old Maid Award is chosen by the elected student leadership of the upper school. The award is given to the graduating senior who has done the most for Elgin Academy.
Madigan Gaborsi has been a steady contributor for 3 years to our widest team. As team captain this year, she had an individual 4th place in biology at state and helped to guide the team to an overall 3rd place at state.
As leader of Students Allied for Equality, or SAFE, Madigan has helped to guide the group in raising awareness and appreciation of differences that has benefited both the upper school and the academy as a whole.
Madigan has also been a leader in athletics. She has distinguished herself in field hockey and earning team coaches and MVP awards, as well as all conference and all area honors. Her efforts have helped to sustain the long tradition of EA field hockey.
In theater, Madigan has had important onstage roles in Mrs. Bayer's dramatic productions. This year, she was an officer in EA's chapter of International Thespians.
For these and many more reasons, we are happy to present the Old Main Award to a true EA helicopter, Madigan Gorsi.
Each year, the Sons of the American Revolution sponsors an award to recognize outstanding citizenship. This award recognizes a senior who demonstrates dependability, honesty, courtesy, respect, leadership, and patriotism. This young woman could have any of these words used to describe her, and they would not be exaggerated in any way. I'd like to invite Muskan Siddiqui up to the stage. Muskan is one of the most dependable students with whom we have worked. She has developed into a leader in the classroom as well as through co-curricular activities. She was a 4-year member of our student council, serving in the roles of 9th and 10th grade representative, vice president in her junior year, and president in her senior year. She also earned the Excellence in United States History Award last year, and as you've seen tonight, she's been on this stage several times. We know that she will continue to be an optimal citizen at the University of Illinois next year. It is our pleasure to award this year's Sons of the American Revolution Award to Muskan Siddiqui.
As I was cleaning out my room this week, I came across a poster from Amnesty International with the charge to turn compassion into action. I immediately thought of the compassion demonstrated by 2 of our students in the upper school. This year's recipients of the Excellence in Community Service Award are very compassionate students who have certainly been active in improving the lives of others during their 4 years in high school. Thomas Merton believed that compassion is based on a keen awareness of the interdependence of all living things, which are all part of one another and are involved in one another. Both of these students are keenly aware of how interdependent we have to be in order to be community service. The first recipient of the Excellence in Community Service Award, Derek Warren, has never been too busy when I've asked for help. He participated in the service trip to Nicaragua, has been a conscientious volunteer at PADS for 3 years, and was one of the student leaders this year. Since sophomore year, Derek has done a lot to add to the foundation of our PADS program by his participation and his recruiting of other students to go as well. He is sincerely concerned about the clients and does not hesitate to interact with the homeless, offering them his cheerful smile and genuine concern. His involvement with PADS sparked his drive to give back even more to the community, and Derek became heavily involved with the local organization in Food for Greater Elgin. Derek writes, "With the help of volunteers like us, we can make sure that all people have food and shelter. I believe it is of the utmost importance that we don't have children go hungry or live on the streets in our community." Derek Warren represents not only what is best about our school community, but of his generation as well. Derek, I commend you. Your compassion for the homeless and your realization of the value of service has benefited us all. Neha Karna is a student who lives with a recognition that things matter, that kindness and unkindness exist, and that the difference can be accomplished. For her, serving others with respect, showing concern in a dignified manner are not extracurricular activities. This young woman leads by doing it by example. She'll never ask more of anyone than she's willing to give herself. She's a natural organizer and is never afraid to think of new ideas to help others. She believes the most lasting things in life are relationships. She has an ability to meet people where they are and to make the lonely feel welcome. Since freshman year, she has tutored many younger students in various subjects, but it wasn't until the summer before her senior year that she decided to design and teach her own computer programming classes to middle schoolers in several local libraries in the Boys and Girls Club of Elgin. The realization that her community lacked opportunities to learn coding motivated her to contact various youth program directors. Stepping into the computer lab that first day, she found her students preoccupied, disengaged, and generally acting wild. Neha learned that sometimes giving back requires leaving your comfort zone and deviating from set plans. Neha writes, "Service is not about choosing the easier path. Service is showing patience toward a seemingly disinterested student, demonstrating persistence with a struggling student, and encouraging the dedication of a passionate student. Most importantly, service is about appreciating the unforgettable moments when a child's eyes light up after identifying their own interests in pursuit of their own dream." Thank you, Neha, for giving so much of yourself during your 4 years here.
All right, so I'm about to present a series of awards that are associated with different colleges. I'll read a description of the school, and then of course talk about the recipients of the awards. In some cases we'll make it a little bit of a guessing game, and in some cases I'm probably going to spell it out pretty quickly. And Ms. Mo's going to help me out here. She's going to hand off the awards, and then I'll shake your hands. Okay? All right, so first, the Dartmouth College Book Award. To be eligible, a student must rank in the top 10% of the class, be of strong character, have made a positive impact on the life of the school, community, excel in at least one non-academic area, show outstanding leadership qualities, demonstrate proficiency in a foreign language, and be a realistic candidate for admission to a college or university of the highest caliber. This student is without question one of the most diligent and inquisitive students at Elgin Academy. She asks questions at a rate that is hard to quantify. I personally sometimes have to limit her questions. This curious nature can be seen throughout all of her courses, and she is one of the few students to pursue more than one foreign language, both Spanish and Latin. She has considerable involvement in a variety of EA co-curricular endeavors, such as Model UN, the Cupola, and Literary Magazine. She is truly a pillar of the Elgin Academy community, an exemplary young woman. It is my honor to present this to Kaylin Leahy. St. John's College Book Award. We are looking for that student who loves to read, who always has one more question, and who has an insatiable intellectual curiosity about humankind and the world around us. So I'm a grad school alumnus of St. John's College, and I can say that there is not an institution on the planet that values books more. And what would books be without great stories? When I think of a student who knows the value of a good story, of a truly good narrative, it is Danielle Levine. She loves books, maybe not always the ones that are assigned, but she truly loves to read, and furthermore, research topics that are near and dear to her heart. It is this kind of inquiry that is deeply valued at St. John's. Danielle is unafraid to ask the tough questions, and she knows how to get things done. It is my pleasure to present this award to Danielle Levine. St. Lawrence Book Award. In recognition of the value that the St. Lawrence community places on service to others, the St. Lawrence Book Award honors high school juniors who have distinguished themselves in their communities by their significant commitment to community service. This award goes to a young woman who has involved herself in a variety of service endeavors at Elgin Academy. From soup kitchen to pads to art for a cause, Lauren Rana has demonstrated an exceptional passion for service throughout the EA community and beyond. She has been an enthusiastic participant in several Outreach 360 service trips and has demonstrated that she is more than willing to give of herself time and time again. While in the Dominican Republic, the children swarmed her in the playground and could not wait for her to get out of class to embrace the warmth of her presence. Her kindness and compassion are evident in everything she undertakes. She is an exemplary member of the Elgin Academy community. It is my pleasure to present this award to Lauren Ross. The George Eastman Young Leaders Award, which is associated with the University of Rochester. This candidate must have strong leadership experience at school and in the community, high grades and challenging courses, and extensive involvement in extracurricular activities. This award goes to a young woman who is a leader both in and out of the classroom. Sometimes this is in a direct manner, such as an elected position, and other times it's through her work ethic, perseverance, and caring nature. In addition to being a PADS leader and an enthusiastic member of choir and encore, she is deeply passionate about athletics, most notably volleyball. She's a fierce competitor and her love for the game is infectious. I was personally reminded of her passion for sports with an incredible presentation that she delivered in my APUS class about the history of sports in the late 1800s that she entitled Sports Ball. She covered football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and of course her favorite, volleyball. We look forward to seeing her continued leadership as a senior next year on the court, in the classroom, and in the community in general. It is my privilege to present this award to Elizabeth Spring. University Book Award is presented for a commitment to civic engagement, community service, political activism, social justice, or volunteer work. The recipient of this award has made numerous contributions to the EA community. He is a passionate member of Model UN and has grown into a tremendous leader of that organization. To quote Ms. Wheaton, he is a composed and confident member of the Model UN Executive Committee. He not only is a strong individual delegate, but has been instrumental in mentoring new members of the club and showing them how to get the most out of their Model UN experience. He is a passionate service volunteer both at Elgin Academy and in his home community. He has volunteered his time as a tutor to younger students, at Soup Kitchen, and on several Elgin Academy service trips. I would also like to add that he's been nothing short of an exemplary student in my classroom and set a new bar for excellence with his outstanding presentations. It is my honor to present this award to Armand.
Society is the secondary school analog of Phi Beta Kappa. It was founded in Maryland 112 years ago, and its mission, to quote from their mission statement, is to recognize academic achievement in secondary schools for the purpose of promoting excellence, justice, and honor. According to the Society's website, there are nearly 400 chapters worldwide, and over 4,000 new student members are inducted each year. The Elgin Academy chapter was founded in 1922. It is the oldest chapter in Illinois and the 26th oldest in the society. I'm our chapter secretary, and the big cheese over there is our president. The society's constitution authorizes each chapter to induct the top 20% of each year's senior class. We elect approximately 10% as juniors and another 10% as seniors. Senior inductees receive a certificate, a pin, and a booklet of information about the society.
Juniors receive the certificate when they are elected, and the booklet and the pin the following year. Would now like to call forward this year's junior inductees, Caleb Leahy, Armand Cavani, and Jaden Tabak. Next, this year's new senior inductees, Howlin Liu and Wisconsin Eagle. And finally, the seniors who were elected last year as juniors, Madigan Hoborsi, Candace Fang, and Neha Karn.
Before we wrap up here, I'd like to note that Mr. Gibson is the chapter secretary because he was the only one who was around when the Karate Society was founded. That seemed appropriate. I've been sitting for an awfully long time. So I do want to, first of all, I do want to say thank you to the faculty, as Mr. Sepp did, for all of the work that goes into not only what you're hearing tonight, but the work that goes into helping this level of achievement. It's a spectacular thing. One way we often do this at this point of this program is to salute a teacher or teachers who have reached certain milestones in their tenure. And we have one of those this evening whom we're going to celebrate despite the fact that she's not here. And I appreciate everybody understanding why we're doing that. This celebration of success and achievement that we hear tonight only happens with great work by a lot of different people. And so I would like to invite to the stage Ms. Bear and Ms. Cinquemani Thomas to celebrate one of our colleagues.
We were honored to be asked to say a few words about our friend and colleague Gina Keatsman as her 20th and final year at Elgin Academy draws to a close. Unfortunately, Gina is not here tonight. She is attending a family wedding, but her impact on the upper school has been so significant that we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge her 20 years of contributions, as is the tradition at this event. She will have the opportunity to view the recording of this later.
Most of you have known Gina Keatsman as a math or AP psychology teacher. What you may not know is that Gina started at Elgin Academy as a part-time math teacher. At the time, psychology was a semester-long class, but when Gina eventually took it over, she developed it into the year-long AP course it is today. She has served as chair of the math department for many years and has been a valuable collaborator with colleagues across departments. Some of you know her as the faculty sponsor of the Environmental Club and Students Allied for Equality. Over her 20 years here, she has worn many hats in addition to these. She was the sophomore class moderator, faculty leader of student council, and advisor extraordinaire. Ms. Keatsman could be counted on to attend plays and concerts and showed her school spirit by attending sporting events on a regular basis. While these facts are impressive in and of themselves, they do not entirely convey the passionate and unique educator that is Gina Keatsman.
What you may not know about Gina is that she is an avid gardener. She loves to spend hours in the sunshine with her hands in the dirt, helping bring to life the many varied plants in her yard on the banks of the Fox River. She loves this garden so much that that she is even digging up and bringing some of the plants with her when she moves this summer. British horticulturist Gertrude Jekyll once said, "A garden is a grand teacher. It teaches patience and careful watchfulness. It teaches industry and thrift, and above all, it teaches entire trust." Gina Keatsman has taken these lessons from her garden of patience, careful watchfulness, industry, and trust, and transplanted them into her classroom.
First of all, Gina is a patient teacher who thoughtfully tends to her students and advisees as carefully as she does for many plants. Gina has the unique ability to observe a student for a short time and be able to articulate exactly how they learn. She therefore understands the best way to teach them. This careful watchfulness means that she can closely monitor students' progress, helping them celebrate their strengths and overcome their challenges, while still allowing them the time and space to grow their own roots so they can stand on their own. In her garden, she knows which plants to put next to each other so both can thrive in each other's company. In Miss Keatsman's classroom, students collaborate closely with others as she puts a premium on group work and students learning from the unique individual styles of those around them.
Second, Gina has high expectations for her students. Ask any student who has been in any of Miss Keatsman's classes, and they will tell you. She makes them work. She forces them outside of their comfort zones and helps them see the value of failure. It has been said that in gardening, there are no mistakes, only experiments. And this is also true in Gina's classroom. She embodies a growth mindset and instills it in her students, as well as the need to reflect upon their own strengths and challenges on a regular basis. Few teachers would have the guts to make students write reflective journals in a math class, but Miss Keatsman does, and they are better for it.
Finally, Gina Keatsman is a master at building trusting relationships with her students and advisees. She understands that without trust, students will not push themselves to take risks in their learning. The trust she has engendered allows her students to feel comfortable sharing with her, and she often finds herself the sounding board for teenagers who just need to talk. Just as she knew how to save her garden when the floods came, she knows how to handle the floods of emotionally charged teenagers who trust that she will be there to listen. She's a compassionate advocate for all the students here. She has a bird's eye view of Elgin Academy and how all the different constituents work together to create the best experience for the students.
Gina, just as you are taking parts of your home garden with you as you relocate to warmer climes, you will also be taking parts of your EA garden with you. As hard as it is to leave your plants and students behind, know that your careful tending will leave behind a beautiful legacy that will continue to grow long after you have left. We will miss your valuable insights, your passion, and your friendship. We are all sad that you are leaving, but we know that you will soon plant a new garden that will be just as beautiful as the ones you are leaving behind. Abraham Lincoln once said, "We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses." Congratulations on 20 years of service to Elgin Academy, and the best of luck to you.
Each year, the school takes pride in recognizing the 2 students who have earned the highest grade point averages in that year's senior class. Obviously, it's not easy to separate oneself from this auspicious class, and these 2 students should be exceedingly proud of their accomplishments. As you can tell from the awards presented this evening, this class has an extraordinary number of accomplished students, people who are smart, curious, driven, and demanding, and distancing oneself from this group is no small feat. This is a class of accomplished academics who have pursued passions, and they should be as a whole proud of themselves as we are of them. You make Candace Fang has been a model of remarkable academic consistency throughout her education. During her 3 years at the upper school, her grade point average has not wavered more than 0.12 of a point. All the while, she has taken increasingly tougher classes, culminating in a record that includes capstone courses such as Advanced Placement Chemistry, Honors Mathematical Physics, Advanced Placement Calculus AB, Advanced Topics in Calculus and Mathematics, Programming in Java, Advanced Placement United States History, and Advanced Placement Psychology. Furthermore, you have heard her name called numerous times tonight for a variety of awards. Candace has also honed her academic talents outside of the classroom as a key participant on the WISE team, medaling in chemistry while helping the team win the first place trophy last year. Beyond academics, Candace has been an outstanding artist whose works have adorned the hallways of our school. She also had a very successful college process, culminating in her acceptance to the University of California, San Diego. We celebrate all that you have done to make the most of your opportunities in Elgin Academy, Candace, and we ask that you come forward to accept your plaque in recognition of being named the salutatorian of the class of 2019.
It's always a distinct pleasure for me to wrap this up before I'll turn it over to Mr. Sept, I think, for a few remarks about tomorrow morning. But it's my pleasure to introduce this year's valedictorian. And in doing this, well, she's accomplished a lot, so I need these. It's a very small print. In doing this, we participate in a really essential academic tradition. And academic traditions and achievement, when it gets right down to it, is the foundation of this place. You will hear from this year's valedictorian, Neha Karna, tomorrow morning on the quad, and I have no doubt she will provide us much to think about, as she has done for her entire academic career. For tonight, though, it is for us to talk about her tremendous effort and accomplishment. So I would ask Neha to come stand right here so she is fully humiliated by this experience. By this at all, but there's a chance I will be. Neha has made her mark on our community and others, and on the athletic world as well. She is, however, first and foremost an academic. Her final GPA of 4.12 has been earned through excellence in all disciplines and in our most challenging courses. She is currently enrolled in our highest level courses in math, language, social studies, and science, and she has stretched herself to the AP level in other areas like English, where we don't track. As a result, she has earned recognition for straight A grades in all of her years in high school, has excelled as a member of our state-placing Worldwide Youth in Science and Engineering team, and was inducted into the exclusive Cum Laude Society in her junior year, the earliest possible time. Her standardized test scores demonstrate her excellence as well, sporting fantastic grades on both her general standardized tests and the difficult subject-specific tests, such as AP exams and SAT subject tests. She is an AP Scholar with distinction, an Illinois State Scholar, and, as we noted tonight, a recipient of the Presidential Award for Academic Excellence, the Excellence in Computer Science Award, and others. This tremendous level of academic achievement is a result, as her teachers note, of her, quote, work ethic, enthusiasm, and intelligence. Individual teachers have also noted that her, quote, engagement is fantastic. She listens well during our classroom discussion and takes the necessary time to propose thoughtful ideas and ask good questions. In addition, they comment on her creativity and sense of humor. In short, it is clear that her academic credentials are as strong as they can be, and that they are born of a rare combination of innate ability, effort, and habit. This is all impressive, but it is even more so when one sees her accomplishments outside of the classroom. She is an excellent golfer, having qualified for the state tournament numerous years. In this pursuit, she demonstrated poise, confidence, and leadership, and our athletic directors often use the word she dedicated to achieving this level as a model for other athletes. She has featured these strengths in other places as well,
most notably by reviving our Kids for Kids Club, a group of students who work with the local Boys and Girls Club to tutor and provide opportunities for local youth. Neha instigated contact with the faculty sponsor over the summer and took the lead in making the necessary contacts. She is in so many ways a natural leader. She is not always the most vocal one in the room, but her thoughtful responses are carefully constructed and always move discussions forward. For these qualities, she was granted membership in the National Honor Society at the earliest possible time, and last year was awarded our biggest Junior Leadership Award, the George Eastman Young Leaders Award, and is a recipient of this year's Excellence in Community Service Award. The experience to which Senora referred when Neha worked with middle school students to teach them coding resonated with me. It didn't resonate with me, though, because I'm an experienced middle school teacher. Rather, it resonated with me because I had the privilege of working with Neha on our independent Hilltop research this year. But it would be more accurate to say that she worked with me. That would be in the way that a parent might pass along her understanding of something very complex to a well-meaning, but not quite up to the task young child. Once a month, after she kindly reminded me we had scheduled the meeting, she would come into my office, smile kindly, and try to explain to me what she was researching. Thank you for your kindness, Neha. In her work, she combined her love of computer science with her desire to make a difference for others by looking at the intersection of artificial intelligence and people's choices as consumers. Her work appeared to this idiot to be thorough, nuanced, and interesting, and I believe it is just a prelude to the sort of work she can do when she gets to the next level and has access to all of the resources that a great university like Duke can provide. Is somebody going to shout something? Duke! I'm glad I could be here for that. Thank you. This year's valedictorian is an accomplished academic, community servant, and athlete who brings to each of these pursuits innate ability, a strong work ethic, and most importantly, a passion for what she can do for others. I dare say that she will bring these traits to other places, and the world will be better for it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to present the 2019 Elgin Academy valedictorian, Cotton Arnon.
As we close out this evening, I'd like to say a few words as we look ahead to tomorrow morning's commencement. Sure, nobody's been checking the weather, but last I saw, there's a potential for rain tomorrow. That's okay. We are still planning at this point in time to have an outdoor ceremony, and we will make a decision in the morning if we need to change that. Seniors, please remember to meet at 8:45 at the Sears Gallery with your caps, gowns, and tassels so that we can prepare for your commencement and take class photographs. Regarding parking for tomorrow, we encourage all families to look at EA News and Notes that was sent out via email yesterday, as there are a variety of parking options available on and adjacent to campus, both on local streets as well as through the generosity of some local businesses. Note that we do encourage families to arrive by around 9:30 so that they can be seated and ready for the ceremony to begin promptly at 10 a.m. With regards to this evening, the Parent Association, who provided the refreshments out front, did ask me to remind people that it's easier for them to clean up if more food is taken. And so they do ask you to feel free to take what you like, even if you'd like to take some leftovers home with you. And with that, I wish everyone a wonderful evening and look forward to seeing you in about 12 hours.